So definitely have your blocks for today. We are going to use our massage ball and our strap today. So all of those things we'll be using. And you know what I think we'll do today is we're going to actually start with some chest and neck massage. Actually, I was planning on that, so I'm glad the special request was for some neck and shoulders. So you can do this seated, or you can do it standing. We are going to have a little bit of a few minutes of seated for a reading. So if you feel like you want to stand right now, please feel free. Otherwise, seated is just fine. So we're going to work with the chest and then go into the neck and the back of the neck. So take your ball in your left hand and start to just massage the chest from the breastbone all the way out to where the arm starts. So we're getting into the pectoral muscles. What I like to do is move the arm at the same time, move the right arm. And it's nice to make a rowing motion as you press on the ball. So in a way, it's like you're pinning the muscle down and then stretching against that pressure, which is going to help lengthen the pectoral muscles. It will help with that rounded shoulder posture. It's a lot more effective than just stretching the chest. This is a great way to warm up the tissue before deeper stretches, which we will do today. So get all around that right side of your chest, underneath the collarbone too, where we tap. You can get right under the collarbone as well. Anything that feels sore, keep your breath flowing. You can even go to where the pectoral muscles attach. So if you take your arm and you bring it in right at that little juncture, if you take the ball and you just go up and down, it could be a little sore, but that's a really great way to help release the pecs. And also just the center of the chest just lateral, just to the side of the breastbone. We've got lots of neurolymphatic points to work on for our immune system, so we can get that lymph flowing. So it's a pretty potent area to start with. And then take the ball now in your right hand and just start to work the back of the right side of your neck, just the right side only. Start in the soft little divot right under the skull and press that ball in, and then move it out to the side, from the middle section out to the side, right under the bone that's behind the ear. And feel free to just work that tissue all the way down the side of the neck. You can combination roll the ball and also press and kind of drag the ball. That mimics more of like a hand massaging. You can tilt your head to the side, like your left ear to your left shoulder, and gently, very gently work the side of the neck. Don't press too hard because we've got a lot of arteries, veins, things like that we don't want to block the circulation. Nice and gentle. You can keep with that, or if you have the flexibility to do this, I'll also offer this as an option. You can take the ball in your left hand and cross it over your body, and I'll come a little closer to show you where that ball lands. It'll be different for everybody, but I just have it about here. And it may not be accessible for you for various reasons, but if it is, you can try to hold the ball there. Maybe you'll find a sore spot. And while you hold the ball, you tilt your chin towards your chest and to the left a little bit. And just lift and lower the head at that angle, and you can really release. There's a muscle called your levator scapula. It's the muscle that lifts your shoulder blade, and it tends to be chronically lifted when we're stressed out or when we're on the screens a lot. So you can just practice moving your head gently up and down, side to side, and let yourself explore. So if you are holding that ball across the body, see what other spots you can find. If that's just not accessible for you, it's okay. You might even try doing that same idea, the same principle, while holding the ball on top of the shoulder area and tilting your head. It's the same idea as the chest massage. We're holding the muscle in place while we gently stretch against that pressure, creating lots of length. Okay, go ahead and relax now and take a moment to close your eyes and really feel into that right chest and neck and shoulder area. Take a big breath. Notice any changes that you created with that little bit of tissue work. And now we'll keep the ball in the right hand and just start to work the left side of the chest. All the same areas. So you're really in the mood to challenge yourself. I'm stretching my toes at the same time. Some of you I know are rolling your eyes like, no way, lady. But you can curl your toes under and do a little toe stretch, which can be good for stretching the fascia of it is good for stretching the fascia of the feet. You wouldn't probably sit on that the whole time, but it's an option. How does this side feel compared to the other side? Making sure to get underneath the clavicle, and there's some really nice acupressure points in there. Keep your breath flowing. Bring some fresh oxygen to these muscles. Good. And now take the ball in your left hand and just start to work the back of the neck on the left side. Gently working the side of the neck. I usually switch to fingertips when I use the ball on the side of the neck. That just reminds me to be gentle in that area. And then if it's available to you, you can always switch hands and hold the ball across the neck area and pin it down to that muscle in the back. And play with movement and holding the ball in different places. Okay, go ahead and you can place the ball down and just rest your arms and shoulders and take a moment to breathe and really bring your awareness to the neck and shoulders. Hopefully they're feeling a little warmer, a little more awake. You can do some half neck circles. Good. And some shoulder circles. If you were standing, you can come to a seat on a block or a chair. And I'm going to start with this reading for Thanksgiving from one of my favorite books by Alan Marinis. It's called With Heart in Mind. I just love this book. I often, as you might be able to tell, I have a ton of sticky notes everywhere in it. And there's a reading that I thought was really great for this season. So this is called Happiness with Your Portion, Samayach Chelko. And Ben Zoma said, "Who is rich? Those who are happy with their portion." That's from Pirkei Avot. So just a little piece in the middle of the chapter. If you are happy with your portion, you can live sanely within your means and according to your true and deepest priorities. The Torah is explicit in saying that we are here on earth for one purpose only, to be holy. It does not carry us in that direction to be endlessly pursuing more or newer or bigger things or experiences, or alternatively to be spending our time and energy spinning in the eddies of regret. Being happy with your portion helps to keep material cravings in check. It also helps us take note of and appreciate the blessings that are already in our lives rather than obsessing about what we lack. We have to notice that the teaching does not say that we should be content with what we have, but rather happy with our portion. You may be working towards something else that is a reasonable goal, but that should not preclude celebrating the gifts you have in hand right now, because from a certain perspective, this present moment and its circumstances are perfect, and that is surely a cause for joy. So he gives a short little story here that I really enjoyed. I can remember the very old car I drove when I was a graduate student. It was an AMC Hornet that had served me well, but was reaching the end of the road. I made a deal to trade it in for a new Honda, but delivery of the new car would take a month, during which time I continued to drive my Hornet. In that last month, the Hornet's transmission started to fail. One by one, I lost my gears until the only one that worked was reverse. I parked the car in my driveway until the call came to pick up my new car. When it did, I somehow had to get that old and limping Hornet back to the dealership. If I were in that situation today, I'd call a tow truck. But back then, I lived on a shoestring and thought more creatively. I figured out that if I made the trip only in the morning and stuck to the alleyways, I could back up all the way from my home to the car showroom. And that's what I did, reversing through the city lanes and then darting backward across main streets until I drove onto the dealer's lot, rear end first. What should I have felt? Pained regret that I was missing my 3 forward gears? Or great happiness that I still had reverse to get me to my destination?
What page is that on in that book? Oh.
I want to make sure everybody is muted, just in case I heard a voice. Make sure you're muted.
I just wondered what page that was.
Because we're recording this class. Let's see, there's a mystery voice happening here. Oh, that's weird. It's a mystery voice. Okay. All right. So it's a challenging time in life right now. And there's a lot of limitations. There's a lot of things that we wish were different. And I really believe that if we give gratitude and thanks for the things in our life that feel holy to us, that we feel our blessings, if we even spend just an equal amount of time focusing on the good as we do focusing on what we wish was different, we would affect our lives profoundly. So I'd like to dedicate our class to really owning those blessings and steeping in them like a tea bag, just making that tea really rich with gratitude. Let's come to our hands and knees, and we'll do some cat-cows. If your wrists are sensitive, you can come onto your knuckles and just start to move the spine flexing and extending, side bending. Let it be really playful, just warming up the ribs and the back. When you come into your cow pose, this arching of the back and looking up, breathe in, nice big breath. Stretch out that diaphragm, and then when you round the back in cat, tuck the tailbone and empty out your lungs. And then maybe start to wag your tail and do some hip circles. I like to rock forward and back, so making your hands out in front of you a little bit, shifting into warming up those hips. So today's practice is going to be a lot of movement. You can go at your own pace, but we're going to almost keep moving almost the whole time. Lift your feet and do some ankle rotations, both directions. Good. And take a child's pose. Let your head rest on the floor. Breathing to the lower back. Take this opportunity to bring to mind just one thing that is holy in your life. One thing that brings you joy. And then we're going to come up to standing, and we're going to use our massage balls again. And we're going to use our straps. So make sure you have both of those handy. We'll do a little massage for the feet. So start with your right foot and just get into that arch, finding any sore spots. Perhaps feeling a sense of gratitude for these feet that have taken us all the places we need to go, that carry us on our journey in life. Just a couple more passes through that foot. Good, and then go ahead and switch over to the left. Breathing, smiling through any uncomfortable sensations. I'm wondering if anyone practiced the 60 smiles per hour theme of last week. I was more mindful of needing to smile more. Take another few passes, visiting the sore spots. Okay. Place your ball off to the side and grab your strap. We'll bring the strap behind the back with the palms facing away. And you can open up your feet a little wider than hip width apart and start to bend your knees and hinge forward with a flat back and bring that strap up and back behind you. So you can pull the strap, create some tension there, keep your shoulders from dropping into your ears, really activate the arms so that you're reaching up and back behind you. Your neck is relaxed, and then just bring that strap as far as it wants to go. Getting into the front of the biceps, the chest muscles that you just stretched. Breathing here. Keep your knees as bent as they need to be. You don't have to have straight legs. Breathe. Reach. And release. Good. You're going to press into both feet. Look up and start to come up with a flat back, like someone's helping lift you up by your arms behind you. And then do some circles with your shoulders. Place your strap off to the side. Legs are wide. And start to do some standing twists. You can tap or thump your chest and lower back. Breathe. So we're going to work through a modified sun salutation. I'm not going to do the traditional because many of us have wrist sensitivities, and downward dog is not really a beginner's pose. So if you do know downward dog, please feel free to add that in when we do a modified version. But otherwise, we're going to do a modified sun salutation that will take us through all the main movements of the body, warm us up, strengthen us, all at once. Lengthen and strengthen. Go ahead and let your arms come to stillness. The feet are hip width apart. Inhale, reach up, and then exhale, dive forward into your forward fold. Knees can be bent if you need them to be. Release your head. Make sure if the floor is out of your reach or you need that extra support, that your hands can land on a block and that block is close to your toes. Good. Pull the navel in. Inhale. Come halfway up. Nice flat back. And then come up the rest of the way, reaching the arms up, out, and then to your heart. Go ahead and bring your legs completely together. Inhale, reach up and clasp your hands. You can exhale and release your index fingers. So you've got those pointer fingers reaching up to the sky. Pull your navel in and lean over to one side. You can mirror me. Press your hip out, reach with your fingertips. Breathe here. Keep your belly pulled in, come back up. Inhale. Exhale over to the other side. Half moon pose, crescent. Come on up. And then just a little back bend. So you want to really squeeze your thighs, pull the belly in, look up, and just a tiny back bend. And straight up, and hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come all the way down. You're going to inhale, come halfway up. And then exhale, bend your knees and reach your arms up for chair pose. Breathe here. Come down as low as you'd like to, feeling those quads kind of firing up, lengthening the tailbone. So you're going to pull your belly in and shift your tailbone down slightly. Breathe here. Good. And then just go ahead and stand up and exhale, hands to your heart. Here comes our main portion of the sun salutation. Inhale, reach. And then exhale, come all the way down, plant your hands on the floor, and just come to your hands and your knees. Rather than doing downward dog, you're going to walk your hands out in front of you. And then keep your butt up and reach your chest and your head to the floor. Really straighten those arms so that you're getting that stretch on the underarms like you would with a downward dog. The only thing is the legs aren't part of it. Breathe here. Good. Come on up. Bring your hands a little closer to your body, not so that your wrists are under your shoulders, they're still in front of your shoulders a bit. You're going to pull your navel in and start to shift your hips forward so your back is flat, and bend your elbows coming down into your cobra pose. So lower all the way down to the floor. Straighten those legs, slide the shoulders down away from the ears, and start to inhale, lift the chest and head. Maybe the hands will float off the floor a little bit. Squeeze the elbows in close to the body. Good, lower down. Press into those hands, come up just the way you went down, as flat of a back as you can. Really get into your triceps here. Good. Take a child's pose. Big breath. You'll want your blocks next to you for this, just in case you need them. Put them on either side of your mat. Come up onto your knees and step your right foot forward. Come into a nice deep lunge. So my knee is over my ankle. It's not really past my ankle. When you're in a low lunge like that, it's okay if it might come over the ankle. You don't want to do that when you're standing. But for the most part, you want to have your knee tracking over your ankle, or it might even be a little bit behind the ankle, depending on your flexibility. So here's our lunge. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up, and then exhale, straighten the leg and press the arms back behind. Inhale, gazing up, coming into that lunge. Exhale. So stay in your lunge, grab your blocks in case you need them, and then shift your hips back and lift your front toes. Getting into that hamstring. Breathe here. Move the foot from side to side slowly. Point the toes and then flex the foot. Point and flex while you press your heel into the floor. Good. Okay, so it's a little bit of a balance pose here. We're just going to bring that leg back underneath and switch sides. Bring the left foot forward. Blocks are nearby. Inhale, come into your lunge. Exhale, press the hands back. So you want to keep your belly engaged and that pelvic floor active. When you come into the lunge, you want to have some activation in the pelvic floor, the Kegel muscles, if you will. Last one. Hold your lunge. Bring your hands down by your sides for your blocks if you need them. And shift your hips back. Lift your toes. And start to make some half circles or rainbow shape with the toes. And pointing and flexing. Belly's engaged. Hip bones are facing forward. Good. Go ahead and come into your lunge one last time. Reach those arms up. Good. Exhale. Bring that knee back to meet the other one. Come into a child's pose. We're going to come forward now. I'm going to face you so you can see what I'm doing. Come onto your left knee. Your block will be right by the left knee, so I'm not mirroring you. And then bring your right foot out to the side with the toes pointing forward toward the screen and the foot as flat on the ground as possible. For balance, some of you might want to tuck the toes of the back foot. I find it a little easier with my foot flat, but see what feels better for you in terms of balance. So we'll take a lean over toward the left knee. Breathe. Bring the hands down. This is tricky. We haven't done this before. And you'll probably want your foot flat for this. So we're going to start to hinge. I'm going to go sideways so you can see. We're going to start to hinge our hips back, but keep your right foot where it is. You might even come to sit on your foot. If not, it's fine. What you're going to feel is what we're looking for is an inner thigh stretch, and you're also working your left quad like crazy. You're going to feel it really heating up. Come down just where you want to come down. Don't have to come all the way down, but keep your back flat, belly pulled in, and you can hinge forward and really get into that inner thigh. Keep breathing, just a couple more. Good. And then bring your foot in, and we'll change sides. Block along the right side of the knee, left foot, toes pointed toward me, foot on the floor. Let's go ahead and inhale that left arm up and over. Good. Start to hinge forward, reach your butt back behind you till you feel an inner thigh stretch. Right away, your quad on that right side is going to fire up and come on up on your own, breathing into this, strengthening and lengthening. Last time. Good. Bring your left leg back, come into a child's pose, let it all go. Nice wide knees so you can sink those hips down between, so you can sink your belly in between your thighs. And release. Go ahead and rock forward. Come into a tabletop pose. So your wrists are under your shoulders this time. Knees are under hips. Just release the spine with a couple of cat-cows. Walk your hands out in front of you for puppy pose. Lift your bottom, lower your chest and head. Breathe. Take a big breath in and hold that breath for a couple of seconds. Let it go. Slide your hands back, not quite under your wrists. You want them out in front of your, what did I say? Oh, don't slide your wrists under your shoulders. You want them out in front of the shoulders just a bit so that you can rock your hips forward. And when you lower yourself down, you can control the movement with your triceps. Hold the belly in. Straighten those legs, squeeze the thighs. Pull the belly in. Inhale into your cobra. Your little back bend here. Lower down. Now press into those arms. Imagine your back is like a wood plank. Suck the belly and press yourself up. You can do it. Come back to child's pose just for one breath. Good. And then come up to your knees with your blocks near you. We're going to step the right foot forward, and we're going to dance in our lunge. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, straighten the leg, press the arms back. Now this time you can lift your front toes if you want. Inhale. And exhale, take your time. If you want to do just one of these, if one feels better for you because you can balance better by slowing down, please take care of your body. If you want to go faster with your breath, you can do that. The next time that we come into our lunge, we'll stay there, but bring your block in on the inside of the front foot. The height will depend on your comfort. We'll take it into a little twist here. So right hand comes to right hip. Open up the chest and heart, twisting to your right. You can keep your right hand where it is, or you can lift it up. Palm is facing toward me, facing away from you. Not behind you, but away from you. Breathe here, pull the belly in. Good, release down. Go ahead and come back to standing on your knees and switch sides. Inhaling into the lunge. Exhaling, pressing back, lifting those front toes. Last time, you'll come into your lunge with your block inside that front foot and take your twist. Whatever twist feels good for you. Draw that belly button in toward the spine. Lower your top hand if you had it up. And come stand on both knees and stretch out into a child's pose. All right, we're gonna come lengthwise on the mat and come to standing. The blocks will be in front of you. Let's do our 3 thumps and some hip releases. So go ahead and bring your hands to your hips and do some big circles. Those fronts, the psoas, should feel pretty warmed up right now. And then bring your feet underneath you and we'll do the 3 thumps. So tapping under the collarbones, nice big deep breaths, and then tapping the center of the chest with a nice loud ah. Ah, waking up that immune system. And then the rib cage, tapping on the ribs, waking up your spleen meridian. Good, and shake it out. Okay, we're gonna do something called power hara. So you will, you know how we do breath of joy and we kind of sniff the air until our lungs are full? We're gonna do the same thing with the sniffing twice until the lungs are full. It's actually probably easier just to follow along than to have me explain it, but I will explain it and then I know you'll get it. So you're gonna bring your hands to your shoulders so you've got little chicken wings. And you're going to sniff and turn to your left, which is going to look opposite of me, right? So you're going to sniff and then sniff. So you've got 2 twists, left and right. And you're going to connect the breathing to that. Got it? Okay, and the second part is letting that breath go, but kind of think of crossing over like you're punching the air, crossing the body. So, and it sounds like this, ha, ha, and then ha, 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 ha. 2 more. Ha, 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 ha. Good. Relax. It's a little energy medicine to lift and stabilize the mood, to energize the body. Feel your feet on the ground. Relax your upper body. Maybe closing the eyes, noticing all of the sensations in your body right now. Maybe even noticing your state of your emotional state, your mental state. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, here. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, here. Let the knees be soft and include the arms. Breathing in, hands come up. Breathing in, I am. Breathing out, hands come down, here. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, here. In your mind, just repeating that. Finding gratitude in this present moment just as it is. Happiness with your portion, with your body, just as it is. Let your hands rest by your sides. We'll take a wide-legged forward fold, so you'll want to open your legs nice and wide, toes pointed forward, or maybe a little pigeon-toed. Blocks are here if you need them. So we'll do our usual prosarita, and then I'll add a modification. So just get those legs as wide as you can while still keeping the edges of your feet on your mat. And feel free to use a block if you need to. And just start to hinge at your hip crease and come down. If you need a little tiny micro bend in those knees, please do that. Release the weight of your head. Let some traction come into that cervical spine. Let the jaw go. This nice inversion, also very mood stabilizing. So the other variation you might take if you want a little more stretch across the shoulders is to straighten your arms so you come halfway up. I'm going to put a little bend in my knees and lift up, but keep the legs where they are. And then reach behind and grab the hands, so clasp your hands. You could also use the strap like we did earlier, but if you want to try grabbing those hands or even opposite elbows, and then hinge forward again, coming into your prosarita with this arm variation. Keeping those principles as we did earlier of having those shoulders extend out and away from your ears and head, and those arms reaching up nice and active. Breathing. Releasing the arms back down toward the floor. And then pressing into the arms, into the hands, and start to heel toe your feet together until you can come up nice and slow. All right, we're gonna do a seated twist now. So come down. We're gonna do a seated twist and another some hip openers. So you're on your sits bones. Bring your left foot close to your right buttocks. And then the right foot will either come in close or cross over your body. And so just shimmy till you can feel both butt cheeks on the floor. And we'll hold on to that right knee with either the elbow or the hand and start to twist, gazing over the right shoulder. Use the right hand to prop you up, to keep your spine nice and long, and the crown of your head is just floating on top of your spine. Start to unwind your twist, but keep your legs as they are for a second. So this is where we have the opportunity to get into the hips a little bit more. There's going to be two options, as I know we have lots of different bodies. The first option, which might be a little easier, it is easier, is to bring your right ankle, just shift it a little more over the left knee or thigh, and just gently press on the inside of your right knee. And start to hinge forward. Just at the hip crease, just start to hinge forward. You're going to feel a little more in that outer right hip. Sometimes like the ankle bone will dig into the flesh, so just move it around so that it feels fairly comfortable, and flex the right foot and hinge forward. Breathe. So what matters here is that you don't have any sharp pains in your knees, that you're breathing smoothly. It doesn't matter so much what this looks like as long as your core is engaged, you're breathing, and you're feeling a stretch right around that area that we're looking for. Relax your jaw. So that's like the first option. The second option is this, but instead of bringing the foot out, you actually try to cross your leg over a little more. I'm going to lean forward and try to scoot around so that my knees are stacked and my feet are out to the sides. We've done this laying down before. So then we're going to get into both of the hips a little bit, again leaning forward. Notice if there's anything in your body that could relax around what you're feeling. Is there any place in your body that could release? If it feels like you were in that stretch a really long time, it's because my computer shut off. So if you aren't already out of this, go ahead and come on out and you shake out those legs. That's the second time in 2 weeks that my computer has shut off, but it doesn't seem to affect the Zoom. Thank goodness. Okay, other side. So bring your right foot close to your left bottom and take your twist of choice. So bringing the left foot across the body or keeping it just close to your body. Twist over that left shoulder. Lengthen the spine, pull the belly in, slide the shoulders down your back. And unwind and choose which hip opener you're going to do. So you're either going to bring that left ankle a little more over the thigh and press on the left knee and hinge forward, or you'll try to stack your knees over each other. They don't have to fully stack, they can just move toward each other, those inner thighs squeezing in close and tight and hinging forward. Pressing yourself up and out of this. Go ahead and straighten out those legs and just jostle them up and down, do some tapping. And then we'll come to the back. Have your block with you. Hug your knees into your chest and just rock from side to side. And then bring your feet to the floor. And we'll do a modified bridge pose. So feet are close to the butt. Lift your hips, slide that block under your sacrum in a way that feels supportive and comfortable. You can either stay in this gentle inversion or you can lift the legs up. Taking about 10 breaths here. Long, slow, deep breaths. When you're done with your 10 breaths, you can actually choose to stay longer, or if there's any other moves, stretches that your body needs, you can take this time to also do those. And when you hear the sound of the bell, it will be your formal invitation to rest in stillness. resting pose of integration. Beginning to release all the effort of your practice, just letting those muscles melt and soften. And as the muscles melt and soften into gravity, settling into gratitude for something about your body that feels holy. And then bring to heart and mind something in your environment, in your home, that feels holy, that you feel deeply grateful for. It can be big or small. And really let your whole being feel gratitude, this happiness with your portion of something in your home, in your internal space, environment. And then bring your attention, your mind's eye, to your external environment outside of your home. Maybe your garden or a park that you go to. And bring to heart and mind something that you feel so grateful for, that feels holy to you. And bringing to heart and mind beings, other people, or a pet or animal, letting your whole being be infused with gratitude and acknowledgement of the holiness that they bring to your life. Let this happiness with your portion in life fill you up, fill your cells till they're brimming over and radiating into all the parts of your body, until that energy radiates outside of your body. Feeling yourself this glowing, holy, beautiful being. Recognizing that this life is divine. Baruch Atah Adonai, pokeiach ivrim, pokeiach ivrim. Baruch Adonai, pokeiach ivrim, pokeiach ivrim. Praise to you, Adonai, who opens the eyes of the blind, for letting us see with clarity a life divine, a life divine. Praise to you, Adonai, who opens the eyes of the blind, for letting us see with clarity a life divine, a life divine. Invite some deeper breaths into your body. Feeling the weight of your body, the air on your skin. Taking your time to roll to one side and rest there for a moment before you rise up. Baruch Atah Adonai, pokeiach ivrim, pokeiach ivrim. Baruch Adonai, pokeiach ivrim, pokeiach ivrim. Praise to you, Adonai, who opens the eyes of the blind, for letting us see with clarity a life divine, a life divine. Praise to you, Adonai, who opens the eyes of the blind, for letting us see with clarity a life divine, a life divine. And bringing your hands to your heart. May all beings be safe. May all beings be free. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be loved. May we take our abundance and our blessings. May we be holy and share what we have to share with others. May it be so. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Shalom.